good afternoon and good morning wherever you are in the art world. The Art Talks are delighted once again to welcome you all in this incredible, inspiring Art Talk with Stacie McCormick from London. She's an artist, the founder of Unit 1 Gallery, which is a workshop residency program, and the visionary mind behind the new art world app, Fair Art Fair, which was launched last summer 2021. And before asking Stacie about her wonderful artistic journey and what inspired her to venture in this in the art world, I would like to ask you, Stacie, can the art world be fair?
Oh, start out with the heaviest hitting question. I think first of all, you have to answer the first question, which is, what is the art world? Because I don't think we have one art world. I think we have many art worlds. So trying to unify and make one art world fair might be impossible, because we have to understand which art world we're talking about. So there are several. I think we're all really familiar with the very, very top of the art world, which I would call the elite, premier, exclusive, sensational art world as we know it, that inhabits the press. It inhabits the deep pockets of the billionaire collectors. It's a commodified, almost stock market of art trading as we know it. And in these past 5-10 years, probably one of the most thrilling things to watch that you can possibly imagine. And it's enriched many artists and enriched many collectors. But is it fair? I would say no. It actively suppresses, denies, and exploits a huge number of people and artists that are unable to reach those heights. And I often make it easy to understand in a very simple, comparison. The fashion industry is actually very easy to understand. When you look at the top, you have haute couture, which is collected by a very elite, premier group of people. Those amazing gowns and runway items that are one-off pieces are true works of art that are collected by a rarefied some 5,000 collectors that are known. Those fashion weeks and those amazing, wonderful designers that make those exclusive pieces we want. We admire them. We want to see those pieces made. But the interesting thing about the fashion industry is the consumer has an entry point kind of at every level. You can buy fashion all the way on your terms down to Primark, which is thrilling for the consumer. By contrast, the art world, or the art world in comparison to the fashion world, you have very similar top. You have 10,000 worldwide collectors that really are the game changers, that are absolutely feted by the top galleries. They're the ones that are at Frieze Masters, they're at Basel, they're at all of the Cologne, they're at all the great and wonderful fairs that we all love to go to. But then you have to look at the structure of the art world beyond that. And it's actually most consumers and most artists are blocked from any kind of entry point. And this is what we're really interested in, finding a way to kind of give the consumer a more transparent, wonderful way to connect directly to artists, and in fact, a much more fair way for artists to live by their practice, have agency over the work they make and bringing it to the world. Much the same way Amazon was supposed to close the bookshops, it never closed the bookshops. We have more bookshops than ever before, so we're not trying to close galleries. What we're doing is disrupting and finding a way for artists really to have a less exploitative relationship with the art world and a much more fair entry to the consumer, because I really think the consumer is probably the most neglected by the art world as we know it. We did a huge research, and that research established with a number of questions how comfortable the general public is in approaching a gallery. And most consumers feel intimidated and blocked from understanding it's not transparent. They feel they don't have enough money to buy art. They feel that they can't ask a question without feeling intimidated. And again, this is a really quite unexamined metric. And the digital world has allowed us to examine that. COVID has jumped the entire art world onto the digital platforms. So it's a thrilling time. And I think it's especially thrilling for artists to kind of finally stop this kind of idea that they're not allowed to bring their practice to the world independent of external representation. And it doesn't exclude the possibility of also having that. So fair, can the art world be fair? I think there is so much room for it to get better for so many more people. But my mother always told me from very small, with 5 brothers and sisters, that the world was never going to be fair.
Yes, well, we should maybe agree, but also we will ask this question a bit later. I think that your title was really to the point, and something that we are facing and struggling every day. And and I think what I adore about you is because you are an artist. So you started as an artist. So you can, unfortunately, you need to be an artist and understand the art ecosystem only if you are and you live in the art world.
I could put 1,000 master's degree graduates in the gallery right now, and I can tell you each one of them, when they finished their master's degree, felt like they fell off a cliff. And then it was like this mystery of how do I find somewhere for my practice? How do I find a way to get my practice in front of a gallerist or in front of representation? How do I join? Where do I go? And it's still, I interview 21-year-olds for our residency program, and they all agree, no one prepares you for that moment. And you're just dropped into the world of art, and there's no map, there's no instructions, and you wait like a lottery ticket, hoping you get seen.
Yes. And again, it doesn't, you don't need only, as you said, to be in the right place at the right time. I think you need a bit of support. And this is you. So Stacie, tell me, so you were an artist, but you were, born in USA, and then you are based in London now.
Yes.
And how did it start?
Well, I finished an undergraduate in printmaking. My undergraduate degree is fine art printmaking. And then I went out into the world, and of course, couldn't make a living to the style of which I wanted to certainly have, just with my art practice. So I had 3 jobs to begin with. Then I ended up in the design world, worked in architectural project management for a number of years. And all along, keeping my practice alive, but everyone knows that, if you can't dedicate all of your time to your practice, it's hard for it to grow and have strength. And also, I think like anything, as much energy as you put into it. So in all of that time, I really kept witnessing that conflict that, you have to keep a studio, you have to pay the rent on your home, and you have to have a job. And it's just an impossible metric, really. And then really I started a family, and I had to do also the feminine thing where I had to choose between my studio and my kids. It wasn't an easy decision, but I gave up my studio for 10 years. If I had known how strongly I came back to the art world, I would have felt much better about it. But at the time, it was Solomon's choice. I really didn't want to give up my studio, but knew in the name of the family and children, it was the right thing to do. So all of that is very complex. And when I decided to come back to the art world full throttle, I really decided that I wanted to try and do something very differently. And I had the opportunity through an amazing series of extraordinary luck to get the space I have here in London. And when I opened it, I knew with my professional background, 2 things I knew is I didn't want to buy low and sell high as a kind of business concept for artists. And I also wanted the space to become itself instead of project managing something, because I felt like my former career would have poisoned this as well. So that meaning if I project managed it to a profit bottom line, the same dissatisfaction I had with my former work would inhabit here, and then it would poison the art. So I allowed something extraordinary to happen, and that was, can the space become the sum of the artist? And kind of put together a 5-year plan based on what we knew it would cost to be here, based on an open call program, and based on funding, and et cetera, et cetera. But the main and core value was that we would not exploit artists for profit. So we would run the exhibitions in a non-commercial fashion, and we would run the residency programs to support artists with a very glamorous studio and incredible networking, mentorship, and support. And true to that amazing kind of trajectory, by year 5, the Arts Council recognized us as an organization, and they gave us amazing funding and validation. And that was thrilling, and that came just as COVID came along. And so this kind of dream of operating a space that really puts artists first kind of came true. And the other thing I promised myself is that I would also not forfeit my practice in the mix, which meant I would continue to paint, that I would work side by side by the artist in the space, and be one of the sum of the parts here. So I continue to work in my studio, and I fight the same battles the artists do in trying to get myself networked into exhibitions and seen and sold. Maybe the difference with my practice is everything I sell from my studio goes to support the space. So that's really all that happens here. We've developed a beautiful collection and a limited edition set of prints for the space to be supported with. So I think it's over 300 artists that we've sponsored with exhibitions and residencies. We've had 19 solo residents, and 85, I think, further residents downstairs with our Radical Residency program. So remarkable legacy here in West London. And it's a beloved space amongst artists, and also amongst the public, because we bring the public to celebrate working artists and create a kind of dynamic, substantial relationship directly with artists. That this kind of object on a wall separate from the artist. It's always been the artist and the artist's personality is really within the space, and that dynamic I'm very proud of.
And Stacie, how many artists do you have now? So you need one gallery. Do you have a residency that it's going throughout the year?
So we do 3 solos a year. So that's a 3-month residency that they have the working studio for 3 months, and then we have an exhibition. And during their time, we bring collector groups, we bring mentors, we bring the press, we do this whole portraiture and photography of their practice. We promote them through all our social channels. And we've had, I guess, 5 of our residents have really gone on to kind of museum level exhibitions and kind of global presence. Really wonderful. Some very exciting. But without question, all of them have moved their practices in a kind of exponential leap. And so it's quite a prestigious, the open call gets a lot of applications. I generally interview 20 before we make a final selection. And then from that popularity, we developed the Radical Residency, which we have downstairs, which is twice a year. And it's 10 artists together working side by side in an open studio experience that we bring the public in to watch working artists making. And then we curate a show based on what they make here during the time here. So that's the kind of 2 programs.
And the open call, we can find it later, maybe.
Yeah, there's a link. Yeah, there's a link in the Instagram and on our website. And we're probably going to extend it by a week. Don't tell anyone, but yeah, we'll extend it because I think the deadline is the 11th of July. But and this was one of the things that really is the birth of Fair Art Fair, in that basically if we get 250 applications, I would say at least 75% deserve exhibitions and deserve to be seen. And they're all struggling to be seen. And so it really set the kind of metric for knowing there needs to be a digital platform to bring these artists to the world.
But Stacie, I think more than anything else, you have created a community. And I think this is so important, especially nowadays, to support. But, it's so beautiful and so touching, I have to say, because, it's only the minute I met you, I could feel this passion. And it's
It is that. I mean, I have to say, if I could bank the substantial experiences, you know, really, I'm a billionaire in the kind of the value of my days and the kind of essence of experience and the connection, and just to have the privilege to work next to artists every day. I'm like in a constant master's degree every day of my life, and that dynamic is so impossible to put a value to. But I know how much it costs, meaning the rent and all of that. And we are currently, I have to proudly say, we are currently fundraising. We have a GoFundMe, and we're going to launch some amazing rewards. So if you would like to get some amazing art as a reward for donations, I'm going to be unabashed in recommending people have a look at our GoFundMe, because we really want to keep going here. And post-COVID, basically most of our revenue streams before COVID have really not returned, because we did a huge amount of revenue from renting the space in between exhibitions for bar mitzvahs and parties and all kinds of things. And this just hasn't come back. And that represented half our rent. So this is what we're trying to kind of fill the gap with the fundraiser at the moment.
Wonderful. But I would love to speak about, especially, again, bringing back artists, art lovers, and the curators, and all the entire art ecosystem into your Fair Art Fair, which is this app that is your baby.
Yes.
And I think it's out of of your passion, because it is all about connecting, as you said, engaging, simplifying, because that's what is important here, to simplify all these steps for the artists, because there are so many platforms, are so complicated, and at the end they are not true to the core of how can you explain a bit the process through the artist, how can they be discovered? And
so the app, it was really born out of everything we needed here. So I'm a gallerist, I'm a curator, I'm an art lover, and I'm an artist. And so the tools and the kind of premise of a non-exploitative environment, which we built in real life, we thought, okay, can we make a digital, non-exploitative, supportive mechanism to bring artist practices to the world? So that's really all in a nutshell what Fair Art Fair is. So you as an artist subscribe, and but for our app, I would say you have many platforms where you can get your art on Rise Art or Stacie, to mention some extraordinary platforms that provide services. There's commission, and there's prices, and there's competition, and Stacie really needs you to participate in order to keep your stuff in the face of people. And it's a dense world to research and try to understand what you can have as your USP. I guess that's what you call it. What I feel is currently, if you have a website, it's a cul-de-sac. So you have to give your business card or send an email to someone, and they get to your website and they arrive there, and maybe you have work for sale, and maybe someone can buy your work directly, but there's no dynamic, right? The dynamic that we've grown accustomed to with Instagram, which is this instant messaging, this kind of all of the linking. So I think what we decided with the app is that artists need to be seen and discovered.
Yeah.
And there are two ways that can happen. One, we bring art lovers and curators to the platform, and launching within days, we are making it completely free for art lovers and curators, so that we're going to quadruple the volume of art lovers and curators on the site, which means our population of art are going to get seen and discovered at a much higher rate. So when you have your platform, you have your portrait, a video of your studio if you like, you have your statement, your bio, and then you have transparently every link you like. You can have your Instagram there, you can have your email, your website. Because we are a non-transactional site, we are only interested in making the connection. And we are really clear in building this full circle community, right? So everyone interested in art gets together in one place, they can be discovered, and then we have this opportunity with that community to Spotify it, meaning we can have this peer-to-peer elevation. We have And we've just launched geolocation. So you put your studio location in, someone comes into town, they can see the pin in the map where you are, they click on it, they can check out your work, and they can make an appointment to come to see you directly. We have, if you're an artist on the platform and you are at a cocktail party and you show someone your phone and say, oh, this is one of my recent paintings on the platform, with a split second, you can send that person a PDF, auto-populated. You can invoice auto-populated document. You can do consignment agreements and terms, and all documentation, because once you put the information about an artwork in your inventory, you put it in once, and then all documentation happens automatically. And I've loved that, because I do 2 clicks and an invoice is populated and it's text message to someone directly from the app. So the services are, for these practical things, I think we've really come up with something dynamic. But I think if you feel like, maybe you feel the same as me, Instagram's become so noisy and so video and so algorithmically impossible. I love the idea that we are now an art destination only dynamic environment. We have instant messaging, we have favoriting, we have all the metrics, but it is only art. And so as we build our population and we build our community, it's very, very exciting, because we can analyze groups of artists and groups of art lovers, and we can do localized shows, we can do pop-ups. I think as soon as the population of our subscription metric gets to a certain level, we can have zero commission galleries in many places, because we are going to be the Netflix of the art world, meaning we'll have a population that will allow us to make those kind of in real life proposals. We've had 3 in real life exhibitions here in the space, the last one of which was a women only exhibition. Jo Baring from the Ingram collection and Beth Greenacre, who was David Bowie's curator and the curator for the Albright. They selected 20 women from the app for an exhibition here. So we'll continue to work the physical in the digital back and forth, which I find super exciting. This opportunity to have curators come on, selectors come on, this is all kind of growing so that we, will be feeding that metric. I mean, it's early days, and we have really built a kind of maybe not a scaffolding, but the infrastructure is there for all these different layers where we can start to create different groups. We've got so many different ways that we'll be able to promote. We obviously, through Instagram, we promote a new artist every week, and this is growing all the time. So we've had 40,000 impressions on the App Store, so it's obviously ticking a box somewhere.
Yes, and what you see, because you have artists every day, so they also give you the best advice on, and especially from you being an artist, on how to manage themselves. Because I think for an artist, it's very difficult to manage, to market and promote themselves. I think that is the hardest part.
Well, I think what people. Something I really love about the app, we have 2 metrics. We have Fair Art Fair Curated, and we have Total Discovery. And what I love about Total Discovery is, and I'm a curator, and I have a certain way of curating. And what I will curate into an exhibition, there's probably thousands of people who may not like or want to buy. And so what I love about Total Discovery is, and we promote that, or we describe it as an opportunity for the consumer to fly solo and trust their instincts, because I know that you really should buy a work of art based on your solar plexus. And if you're going through the app and you're looking at work and something strikes you, the first and most important reason to acquire a work of art is that it strikes you and moves you. And so in Total Discovery, just like a dating app, we don't want to get in the way. We want consumers to fall in love with an artwork. And so again, the app is this great opportunity for someone to be in Total Discovery instantly, because a lot of the aggregator apps say, oh, you can't be here because you're not good enough, or you can't be here. But everyone on Fair Art Fair is in Total Discovery from the first minute. And then through the curator program, for your practice to be lifted, for you to get to be joined into online exhibitions and curatorial selections, will really help that metric. And so, that's going to be a balance of all things. But I in the beginning, I kept saying, how do I continue to keep this fairness in mind? And that total discovery was when it really cracked open for me, that you could keep it as total discovery and everyone gets to be there. And I like that a lot.
I think it's truly inspiring. It's because it's as you said, it's I can see, you think about it as a curator, as a gallerist, as an artist, and you always make questions. Will I like it? Will I, it's you first person before anybody else. And I think this is the answer. So I can't wait for everyone to see. But no, actually, can you share a bit?
Let me share this, because this is kind of fun. So this is the new landing.
Okay.
Can you see that? So
yes,
you have this whole free mode. So it's really exciting.
Are you curious?
So really what's happening is we really want to bring art lovers and curators no matter what. So it's completely free for them to come, look, discover. My new tagline is, come for the art, stay for the tools. So the tools for art lovers and curators are amazing, and you can have those if you upgrade to a subscription. But what we really want is for them to join the community and really look at works, which obviously creates amazing opportunities for the artists, because that's the main thing. We want that discovery to happen. So yes, that's the new news. You heard it here first. It is forever changing. I really had that linear life where you did A, B, and C, then you finished. You make a painting, you finish it, you sell it. With the app, it's constant adaptation. So it takes quite a lot of resilience.
I think it's fascinating again, and I would love to hear, some of we have incredible artists, what they think about this app. So or a curator. Yes, there is an incredible collection, but as not with living artists. How does it work? Could it work, Stacie?
So specifically, that's a great question. So what I developed, and it's really helped me. So the art lovers tools, you can catalog your entire collection in total privacy. So all of your collection you can find in one place. You can download a CSV of your whole collection. Soon we'll have a thumbnail. You can use that to get insurance. And oddly, I've had people who get it. I have a client recently got it because they're moving. They cataloged all their artwork, and then they suddenly realized, wow, we can catalog all our valuables, because I have no idea what you might put on the app because it's a non-public forum. You're in total privacy with all your information. So again, you put in that artwork, you put the details, you can upload the receipts. You have one place only to keep track of your whole collection. And then if you need help with it, if you want to get insurance, or you want to send that collection information, or if you want, for instance, to share that with a loan agreement for an exhibition elsewhere. So the tools for an art collector are phenomenal. And it's not strictly based on you coming on and then finding art on the platform. It's a great source to just keep track of your collection. And I
Wonderful.
I have a sneaky feeling in a couple of years for secondary market. And we have an art lover now I'm in conversation with, is actually really keen to do an exhibition of his collection. So we can do the same phygital, where we can allow art collectors who really want their works and art to be seen. We can have a platform for them to show their work, either physically or digitally. So we explore that as a possibility as well.
What? Fantastic. David, would you like to add anything? You see,
I'll say, I like it. So you can use it just as inventory.
Yeah, inventory management completely.
Yeah.
So it's really great for that. We're just about, I highly recommend you have a look for the inventory management tools. And we really developed it for that. And it's in total privacy. So you just catalog everything. the measurement, the size. And, you go around the house and take a picture of every work you have, you load it on the app, and then and because of the collection we've established through all of our residents, because they always leave works of art with us, again, it was a really selfish need. It's like, how do I keep track? And also, now, one subscription, you get all the tools. So you get curatorial tools, you get art lover tools, and you get artist tools, so that you can toggle between them. So that, you can keep, so many artists have works from their friends. You have, invariably, if you love art, you tend to have a lot of art in your life. It's not just yours as an artist. That's great. You can sequester the work you make versus the work you own.
And there's nothing like this already, I take it. I mean,
no, there's not. Yeah.
How can you possibly keep up with how much you need to change all the time? Like, you were just reflecting on that.
Well, I think I had some very good advice last week from a specialist in fact, digital communications. And he said, you have such an ambition for so much, but he said, you've got to pick what matters most now and drive that first. And I think that was really true and valuable advice. And you just have to do a master plan. And if we have a 5-year master plan where we know we want to get to, you've just got to take it in bites along the way.
George, ciao.
Ciao. George. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you, George. Tell us what any of your impressions, because you always...
It's very interesting topic to discuss. And we really lack the new ideas. So this new idea for me, it's fantastic. And we have to actually concentrate about the future of the art world. And I think every new path that we create, it's a chance for us to survive and be in this art world. Yeah.
The app is ready. And I just checked while we were talking, and I'm going to show you. It just launched. So I'm going to show you the app, which is very exciting. Wow. So this is the new look. And I can take you through. So you can download now because the update is there. And so you'll go through these screens for your welcome. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just discovered. So then you'll come to this screen where you can create account. So it's free and it enables you an unrestricted access. And then you can decide whether when you log in, and I'm going to log in, I'll go off screen, I'll log in, and then I can show you the app. I'm very excited. So it's really great. During our conversation, the App Store approved.
Is this one right?
Eccolo qua. So brought you good luck. This is also the Art Talks. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. The karma of our talks. That's brilliant.
The karma. That's the beauty, because it's a beautiful community here. So wow, brava. Well done, Stacie. I can see your smile.
No. So I'm going to if you're interested, I'll log in and then I'll show you my account. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. So this is our dynamic hub screen. So this is what I was talking about earlier. We have Fair Art Fair Curated and we have Total Discovery. So if you go to Total Discovery, like I said, this is where you fly solo and you're allowed to see everyone on the platform. You can view artists or works. So we go look at works. And we intentionally sort of slowed down the experience because what we never wanted to do was this tiling where you have a huge page and 1,500 works and it diminishes value. So we slowed everything down and you really can only do it like that. You can see one work. So let's look at Anya's painting. So you see her work. You can send her a message. You can like her work. You check the price and then you can meet her. So you get to see Anya, you get to have her statement, her biography, and then all her details. So really transparent, and then you can connect to further works of Anya's, which is really, really exciting. And then if you click, always remember, if you click on your Fair Art Fair logo, you go back. This is great, artist near me. So then you allow, then you can go here. Oops, to go zoom in. So you can then find a studio, you click on the pin, and then you can go meet Rachel. So I'm very excited about the geolocation. I'm very proud of that. It's probably a little bit surplus to purpose right now because a lot of our artists aren't geolocating, because you have to geolocate in your thing to do that. So then we have, you can search by categories here, and this is always randomizing, so it's not the same order every time. You can check out women artists. It's a bit slow to load. So there's many ways to explore. We have guest selectors that's coming, and then you can also look at some previous exhibitions. So we always have, this is our gallery space, and exhibitions that we have here, then we do a 3D Matterport. So you get to see some exhibitions that we've had here that are both have been on the app or in the space. That takes you off of the app. So I have to go back now to the app, sorry. Then we have a notice board, which is great. You can put anything you want there. You can check for opportunities and events. So our artists launch things here as well. And then you can send them to other people. So you can see it's quite a lot happening. I'm very proud of the testimonials. So you can hear from them, some of our artists, how happy they are. So I'll let you, that's Sam. And there we have an aggregator of NFTs on the app. So they're there. And then let me just show you my FAF, right? So this is my hub screen. So I have my curator arena, so I can create exhibitions. So I just show you, I can have, here is where I've favorited artists, I keep track of them, and then I'm trying to build them into exhibitions. I have my exhibitions. So for instance, I'm loaded up some different exhibitions here, Fair Art Fair curated, and then you work your way through, and then you can build all the documents. So I can do the list of works, price list, press release. So quite sophisticated set of tools for curatorial aspects. As an art lover, you have your collection, and then you keep track of everything in your collection. So these are works, not my works, right? And then as an artist. So I have my inventory. So this is the kind of current selection that if someone comes to look at my practice, they're going to get this first. And then we came up with a way for you to order. So if you press and drag, I can order my albums. So if I build an album that I want to be the very first thing people see, I drag that to the top, and that's the first thing people see. So this reordering means I can move the Maelstrom series to the top. And then if you go back to all and I refresh, it should. Oh, it's the first time it's not doing what it's supposed to. It should be showing that first, but maybe it's a bit slow tonight. So there's a lot, as you can see, happening. We also have the helpful matrix, of which I'm very proud. You get to ask a question. We're building a database from the questions so that we'll have some auto-populating answers, but we also have a hotline so that you can just call and get help. So a lot happening on the app. We also have an opportunity for artist groups. So ArtCan has joined. It's a big organization that supports artists. So we're aggregating all of the ArtCan artists here as they join. And we'll be doing that with more artist groups as well. So it's really about kind of building a community and a destination. You know, so we have all this opportunity now to focus on photography. And so I hope, it's so great I got to share the new edition with you. It's so nice.
Can I ask a quick question, Stacie?
Yes, David.
I'm curious if you can tell, are you getting a reaction from the quote unquote art world to what you're doing, or?
Well, I would say for a humble little startup, the New York Times, Financial Times, Nigerian Times, Hong Kong Business News.
Wow.
All have done pieces about it. So there's a buzz. I was invited in a panel on the art world in the business design, the Art World Business Conference recently. So quite a buzz. And I have a really great kind of board of directors, because we're right now we've just launched a funding round, because to scale this and take it to the direction we want to, really needs an injection of money. But beyond money, it really needs some partnerships, and it needs validation by investors. Bootstrapping a startup it's like a cliff edge every day. And I'm incredibly proud of how far we've got. So we're a viable product. We've got subscribers, we've got revenue. So we tick every startup box. But we've got a long way to go. And I'm currently reading a book that's so appropriate, and it's called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. So I know I need to bring a team in that is smarter than me and better than me.
Again, you have to keep adapting and changing, and
yes, keeping me youthful, keeping me very youthful, or killing me. I don't know which.
Both.
A little bit of both. But thrilled to see that you guys were the very first to see the latest version.
It looks amazing.
Thank you.
Yes, I adore the pictures. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, just show you the curated arena. So we know that people want guidance often to buy art. So here we have artists that have been curated, and you can search by curators. So you can choose a curator. So Jo Baring, and you can look at the work she's selected. You can look at my selections. Maria Corascava runs Art Partners. She has a selection. Beth Greenacre. And so this is exciting. And I just today secured another curator that's going to do a selection for us. And we're keen to get some celebrity selectors, people that just have great collections. So maybe, David, you want to come on and choose a bunch of art. So it's it's ambitious in its reach and desire. And I must do one very important shout out, and that is to my husband, because he and I have designed every screen. And that is a miracle. And
crazy. That's crazy. How many screens are there? 10,000?
I think there's over 400 now.
Oh, 400. Wow.
Yeah. And Alex O'Rourke, who is my technical developer, is also one of the most stunning individuals I've ever met in my life. And after 8 months of app development, if we're still speaking, he must be. So anyway, that was so fun to share it.
I can't believe that timing.
This is the Art Talks. Ragazzi, of course. I am so happy. No, look, we met before, we just met in Frieze, London, but we met before, and I was, one of the beginning. And now look at what it's
still here.
Many years. It's incredible. Brava, Stacie. Really, it's beautiful what you've done.
Grazie.
I think for all the artists that are here, the curators, I think and also the picture, they are so inviting, to get in and to click and to see more. I think that's,
it was a real defining moment for me to completely slow it down and make it individual. And very much that kind of mirroring what we've done here is knowing the artist makes all the difference. So that's still embedded in the experience. So it's not this, I don't know, ADD, overspeed experience. It's very exciting stuff.
And I can hear everybody shouting downstairs.
Downstairs, there's a live auction going on. So there's a charity auction going on downstairs, because we've got an exhibition in the main space of 85 works supporting an initiative called The Space Between, a mental health charity. And it just so happened that coincided with our talk.
You see, again, the art talk. So I'm so honored that you could join us today.
Thank you, Carolina, and thank you, Stacie. Stacie, you've been on my radar since before you even launched, and I'm kind of on your network. I haven't really put my work up there particularly. I'm a sculptor, and I'm in
fantastic.
And my studio's in Deptford, and so these things are global and international. But I was used to, artists, as you say, would come out of art school and fall off the cliff.
Yep.
And there was this need for the professional development. The thing about that is that when it goes on for a while,
I think what's very interesting about
when you look back in the past of artists that made it, and you find this funny weaving path of how they did it because they didn't have this support. And I think now, as time has gone on, everybody does a QR code, everybody does this, everybody does that. And these sort of extraordinary ways of doing things have disappeared a little bit. And so when I saw what you were doing, like I said, it instantly felt fresh. And I think, as you say, all of us as art, what is it, 1% that come out of art school actually make it as an artist? It becomes more and more difficult to cover.
But that's design. That is by design. That is not by accident. It's crucially by design. And, if I could start anything beyond Fair Art Fair, I would literally write a synopsis for an education program that should be in every single art university in the world. Yeah. And that is basically, I think artists are incredibly suppressed and actively suppressed, and we buy into the myth that we can't do this and you can't do that, and if you self-promote, you're not going to get a gallery, and if you and artists at 20 years old that want to be there, they're getting there because they have completely thrown away that idea. And I so applaud some of these incredibly maverick young artists that have basically really understood that suppression can be broken through. Yes. and don't buy into it. So I think Fair Art Fair is a politer one than this kind of bullying your way through social media, et cetera, et cetera. But it's changing, and it's changing really fast.
But also with your support, because many artists are not comfortable with self-promotion.
But this was the thing about the tools. I said to myself, you don't have to be an expert. We can just do it for you. Just one click, this, and the document's done. You don't have to be an expert. And we can start to do that for contracts. We can do it for everything. And we auto-populate it. And then you don't even have to do it. We'll just do it for you. Please just make the work, make the art. An artist, 99.9% of artists do no harm. And we have a society that supports millions of people that do harm. I just want more artists in the world.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a wonderful project because artists, we are never good at doing documents and dealing with the contracts. At least for me, I'm great at painting. I can't paint anything, walls, car, canvas, whatever. But give me a contract, I get completely lost.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Carolina. I have a lovely summer, everybody.
You too.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you, and thank you again for joining us as usual. You're really a star. Grazie.
Just saying that actually I've seen you very often, the Fair Art Fair on Instagram, and I'd kind of wondered what it was all about and whether it was about creating a fair sort of level playing field for artists. I've seen the open calls on the Instagram, and it kind of looked very an interesting platform.
Thank you.
I kind of been whether I apply down that line and whether it did give the opportunities, sort of open calls for women artists only, or was that a one-off?
I would say definitely not a one-off. It could feasibly be annually. We're developing that, but the open call for in real life exhibitions is probably twice a year. maybe 3. It really is unfolding as we speak, and depending on how we develop and get funding. But we will do these open calls for digital promotion. But I think the most important thing is when you build your platform, we're going to be giving you a deep link, and you can share it with all your population to come on the platform for free. And you can use it to promote yourself, and you can use it to bring people to see your work there. And then they can get in touch and get excited about your practice. It's much more dynamic. And it doesn't have to be a woman-only show for you. It could be a figurative show. You know, the first Fair Art Fair curated is we just brought in 3 curators and chose work from the app. So this is bound to happen too. So just like the lottery, if you don't enter, you can't be seen.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that one.
Yes.
Obviously entering other sort of competitions and open calls and getting my work individually, trying to get the work.
The thing that's great about the app is it's a constant open call, right? So if you're on there and we bring a guest selector, Carolina absolutely should be a guest selector, right? So we bring her on the platform and she gets on there and she chooses 20 artists, and then we promote those.
I know already who I'm going to choose.
So the thing is, instead of joining 400 open calls hoping you're the one, you're in a constant open call, because every time we bring a new curator, you're seen again. So this is what's super important. You know, it is a constant open call.
Definitely, yeah. But upload my work, as they say.
Good girl.
Okay, you see, Stacie, they didn't come for me today. They all followed you already, so they were already here. You see, oh
With
my
a hot
goodness.
ticket in the art world. That's what I hope. I hope.
Anyway, this is a, you know, what the Art Talks are. You know, it's really a wonderful community, and I support 100% Stacie, because you know I'm you know, following your footsteps behind, but in a different way. But you are my, you know, inspiration. Brava,
Thank
Stacie.
you. No, mutual. Feeling is mutual, and thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and so nice to meet all of you and share a special moment with it happening in real time. That was great. That was so funny. If you're in London, I expect to see you here in my space. I'm probably here more than anywhere else. So. And wish me luck that the investors sign up and we really can scale this.
Of course,
Yeah,
you are going to do it. Yes, we're going
And
to
any
be there.
ideas in that regard, send them my way.
We will.
Happy
Thank
summer.
You. Thank you. Happy summer to everyone, and thank you, Stacie, for, you know, joining this incredible, inspiring Art Talks.
Immense pleasure.
And hopefully see you very, very soon. And to all of you, we will see you in September. On the 7th of September, we're going to do our first Art Talk from Dubai.